All right, hopefully we're straight today. How you guys doing? Coach Kyle Brown here, your transformation coach and CEO of Fit 365 Shakes. Want to talk to you today about the most dangerous thing about weight loss support groups. Now, here's the deal. So, over the last, say, 2 decades of coaching that I've been coaching, I think there's one thing in common with the average person that comes to me. They've lost an average of 200 pounds. Yeah, I know, pretty impressive. 200 pounds before they even start working with me. Now, before you say, wow, that's incredible, I want you to think about it for a minute. It's typically 20 pounds 10 times over. So 98% of people who lose weight gain it back within a year. So people go on this horribly vicious cycle that is just incredibly sad and depressing, where they feel all good about themselves and their self-esteem is awesome. They lose some weight and then all of a sudden, bam, they gain that right back. They get complacent and they haven't set any new goals and they keep going through this horrible roller coaster. And the one thing that these people tend to have in common is they all tend to have joined some sort of dietary system before they've worked with me, which comes with some sort of support group. And the support group is all about people sharing their struggle. Think about it for a minute. Now, I'm not bashing all weight loss support groups out there, but I want you to think really hard about this process right here and how the business operates. It's basically, people will come together and they'll say something like, I'm struggling to lose 30 pounds and I feel really miserable about myself. And everyone will just kind of come to them and say, oh, I understand how you feel, and it's so horrible, and I'm there too. And you form this bond and this connection to people who are just struggling. And you almost identify yourself as a person who struggles. So what happens with that process is you get into this vicious cycle of struggling, and you start gravitating towards people who struggle. And we basically work like magnets, where we are the type of people who gravitate to people who are like ourselves or people who are in a similar situation. And the first thing you need to understand that if a support group is encouraging this and really bringing you together, that there's no way you're going to live the best life possible. You need to elevate your game. You need to surround yourself with people who've overcome these struggles. Surround yourself with people who don't identify themselves as somebody who struggles with weight. Now, everybody goes through some sort of struggle like that, but again, you don't want to be somebody who struggles with their weight. You want to be somebody who overcame that. You want to be somebody who leads by example. And you really want to put yourself in a situation where instead you're in some sort of a group that really is more focused on the positive affirmation and the side of I'm a fit, healthy, powerful athlete. Ask yourself this question: how do you want to define yourself? Do you want to define yourself as somebody who's a fit, powerful, healthy athlete? Or do you want to define yourself as somebody who struggles with their weight for the rest of your life? Personally, I'm done with struggle. I don't want to define myself as somebody who struggles. I want to define myself as somebody who perseveres. So, again, I'm not bashing every support group, but I want to give you some tips to know of what should you look for in a support group. The first thing you want to look for is you want to make sure that that support group doesn't become a religion. Think about this for a minute. If your religion is now the religion of struggle, we've got a problem, because I don't think anyone wants to pray to that false god of struggle, because that sounds absolutely miserable. Also, if all that happens is when you congregate together is you complain about the struggles that you're going through, now all you're doing is surrounding yourself with people who complain about the struggles that you're going through. So if the support group is all about complaining versus focusing on the positive and the action and affirmations and things that you can take to move in the right direction, it's time to find a new support group. 3, any good support group on fitness and nutrition must address the subconscious mind. It's not about here's the calories, here's the food you need to eat, here's the exercises. You have to address why you're self-sabotaging, what's going on in your head, and how you can have control of your mind. There is no possession more valuable to us than our mind. Nothing. Not even your kids, not even your family. Because you may have the kids, you may have the family, but if you don't have control of your mind, you're not appreciating them. And you're going to self-sabotage. Everybody does it. And the best way to stop the self-sabotaging roller coaster with your food, with your fitness, with anything, is self-love first. You have to have control of your mind. Next, any support group that believes in compartmentalization is total BS. Compartmentalization doesn't exist. You need a holistic approach. There is no such thing as compartmentalizing anything. I've learned this the hard way in my life, and I highly recommend that you realize that. If you think you can compartmentalize, you're lying to yourself. We are holistic. We are a spiritual being having a human experience. We are not some compartmentalized being. You always know what's really going on. Next, don't join a support group that doesn't support the concept of falling in love with the process. So if it's all about let's get together and complain about how hard it is to eat these diet foods and how we just got to push through to try to lose those extra 5 pounds, and then what? To get to that goal weight? Failure. Failure. You must fall in love with the process. So if you're in a group that isn't about the excitement about the process, get out. Sometimes the best thing in life you can extract from a situation is yourself. And the last thing is all back to yourself. You have to fall in love with yourself. If you're not in a support group that focuses on falling in love with yourself, and that's not egocentrism or narcissism, that's just loving yourself as who you are and focusing on being the best version of yourself and leading by example, it's time to get out of this support group. So again, I hope this helps. It's time to find a way to surround yourself with people who lift you up, not walk through that struggle with you, but help bring you out of that struggle and join you in your ability to bring yourself out of that struggle. Have a great day.